My warm 8th of March greeting to all comrades who fight for women's rights and liberation. Once again, on International Women's Day, we review the past year's struggles, successes, and setbacks. And with renewed hope, we plan for new victories in the next 12 months. As we gradually come out of the pandemic, we see that women throughout the world have borne the brunt of the ravages of the COVID 19 virus and the way capitalists treat working class and dispossessed women. And the capitalist state, often women workers' main employer, treat them no better than the private sector, exposing them to further dangers at work, at home, and in every social setting where they might expect limited state services and provisions. In Iran, as in every country, the status of women depends on the general balance of class forces, what historic victories the proletariat has had, and how far the bourgeoisie has managed to destroy them. Although Iranian women have been politically and socially active since the constitutional revolution of 1906 to 11, during which they organized their societies and published their journals, the main advances in women's rights were achieved during the 1979 revolution. All the limited reforms of the Pahlavi dynasty were basically introduced to bring women into the capitalist system's direct sphere of exploitation, where it was the right to vote, to work, to education, and so on. The monarchist regime always gave them rights within its ideological construct of women being the weaker sex. They were brought into society and economic activity primarily to make capital more profitable. The reactionary clergy's wave of violence against Iranian women, forcing them to cover themselves, to only take women's jobs and to be subservient to their male relatives, has its historical parallel in Reza Shah's forcible removal of the veil by government decrees in 1936. The real history of women's rights in Iran is that of liberties won through their own movements and self-organization. These are closely linked to their struggle when fighting alongside the movements of workers and all exploited and oppressed layers in 1979. Women were active in the workers' movement both as striking teachers and nurses, but also as workers in workshops and factories. They were also involved in the guerrilla groups, students' organizations, and other movements fighting the Shah's dictatorship. The counter-revolution therefore hit Iranian women's rights and progress very hard. It drove their legal rights and social engagement back by about 80 years. But decades of capitalist crisis, corruption, and despotism have led to many movements for social justice and democratic rights. These have brought many women, particularly young students, onto the streets, demanding everything from their last votes to the demilitarization of universities. However, it is the revitalized workers' movement of the past few years that shows us the most promising prospect for working class women and all women and girls in Iran. The militancy of the new workers' movement, and particularly the very active role of women in it, have been very significant. For example, women have been involved in organizing and leading the half-tape strikes. Women activists have also used tactics like blockading roads, supporting the families and communities of strikers, and organizing protests outside government buildings. These struggles show us the best way to getting rid of the discrimination in the labor market, including unemployment. In summer of 2021, the official national unemployment rate for women was 17.7% as opposed to 8.1% for men. But the situation in the provinces is even worse. In 20 provinces, women's unemployment is over 40%. Promoting workers' unity, male and female, in all workers' organizations and actions is the only method for fighting the disparity. Women workers are a vital section of the Iranian working class. They hold the key to liberating themselves and all other women and girls. To become the most radical tendency within the women's movement, socialist women workers and socialist female students have to pose transitional slogans that raise the consciousness of female activists in their fight against the current regime and the capitalist system. These demands must include the right to full legal equality and an end to all social discrimination, an end to child marriages, an end to honor killings, equal pay and access to jobs, free 24-hour nurseries, socialization of the domestic work, and free abortion and contraception on demand. Long live socialism, long live women's liberation.